everybody, it's Ron from Pick Dawgz, and this is Ron's Rundown. We're going to go over the MLB game scheduled for Tuesday, September 24th, 2024. And if you like what you see, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to put your baseball picks in the comments section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, including my daily rundown best bet in the MLB, you can find those at the premium picks tab at pickdawgz.com. There's also a link in the description. Alrighty, here we go. Here are the games for Tuesday in Major League Baseball. First up, the Chicago Cubs taking on the Philadelphia Phillies. We're going to see Justin Steele for Chicago. No official starter for the Phillies. Now, we had thought originally that Steele was going to go on Monday. Cubs move him to Tuesday. I mentioned the Phillies are really hitting lefties well this season. Number one team OPS in baseball overall this year, and good numbers in the last month as well. I'm going to go towards Philadelphia in this one. I think this, right now, while Steele's putting together a great season, and the Cubs have definitely been a stronger team in the second half than they were in the first half, I just think the Phillies are the better team here. I trust their bullpen enough to win this game, potentially cover the run line as well. Next up, the Cincinnati Reds taking on the Cleveland Guardians. Jacob Junis and Tanner Bybee are your starters. We've mentioned that Bybee's had some struggles at Progressive Field this year, and while he's been a little bit better in his last couple of home starts, he's still giving up some sharp contact, and I could see the Reds, who had a pretty nice series offensively against the Pirates, putting up some runs here against Bybee. And Jacob Junis, while he may not be my favorite starting pitching option very often, I think he's pitching really well recently. I mean, his last three starts were all one run or less against some tough lineups, the Mets and the Braves. His strikeout numbers have been decent. I think he pitches well, and I think the Reds win this game on the road. We're getting a great price with Cincinnati. Next up, the Pittsburgh Pirates hosting the Milwaukee Brewers. We got Tobias Myers and Bailey Falter on the mound. I lean towards the under and the Brewers in this game. When you look at Tobias Myers, his recent starts weren't the best, but that was against the Arizona Diamondbacks. Now you face the Pirates, a team that Myers has pitched really well against this year. 13 innings with a sub-1 ERA. But on the flip side, Bailey Falter, A, has pitched better at PNC Park than he has been on the road this year, and B, also has a pretty good outing against the Brewers under his belt. He went 7 innings of one-run ball with 8 strikeouts against Milwaukee earlier in the season. So I look for a low-scoring game, but I do think the Brewers are the better team in the end, so give me Milwaukee on the money line. Next up, the Tampa Bay Rays taking on the Detroit Tigers. Great pitching matchup in this one. Ryan Pepiot and Tarek Skubal. I lean towards the under in this game as well, but I don't think there's a lot of wiggle room on the under, a lot of value. So to me, I just rather take the Tigers, who are certainly in the mix there in the AL wildcard race. Skubal has been a big part of that down the stretch. He's given up 2 earned runs or fewer his last 4 starts. The Tigers have won 3 of his last 5 games, and his last game against the Royals, a team that's gotten to him, a couple of times, he had a really sharp outing, 5 innings of 1-run balls, 7 strikeouts in that win. And the Rays, while they've been decent against lefties, I guess you could say in the last month, they're still near the bottom of the league in OPS and ISO. And I think Skubal can put together a quality start, maybe go 7+ strong innings in this game. Ryan Pepiot's in great form. He's been able to, he's given up 3 earned runs or fewer in his last 5 starts. But the Tigers have really improved against right-handed pitching in the second half of the year and in the month of September. So in a low-scoring affair, I do expect the Tigers to prevail. Give me Detroit in this one and the under. Next up, the Kansas City Royals taking on the Washington Nationals. A pair of lefties on the mound in this one, in Cole Reagans and Mitchell Parker. We know the Royals in the last couple of series have really been free-falling, and at one point they had a pretty nice lead, and they were in a comfortable position in the AL wildcard standings. Now they are tied with the Tigers for those last 2 spots, and the Twins, who are also in the kind of the same situation as KC, they're also they're on the outside looking in right now going into Monday's game. So it's interesting to see if KC can stop the bleeding, and it's not really a great matchup in terms of the offense because they have not been great against lefties in September. A .453 team OPS and a sub-1 isolated power, high strikeout rate to go with it. I mean, Mitchell Parker may not be the best lefty in baseball, but he's pitched really well at Nationals Park with a sub-3 ERA, and he didn't come off a good outing against the Mets in that last one, but that was on the road. So I think Parker pitches well, but I still think the Royals win this game because you got Cole Reagan on the other side. He's still pitching well this season. He's been their ace this year. He had that one bad outing against the Astros recently, but outside of that, he has been sharp down the stretch. In another game that I think is going to be pretty low scoring, I do like the Royals to prevail, so give me KC on the money line and the under. Next up, we see the Baltimore Orioles taking on the New York Yankees in the AL East. We got Dean Kramer and Clark Schmidt on the mound. This one's a 7:05 Eastern start time on TBS, and the Yankees look to clinch their division in the AL East. I think they do in this one. I like the Yankees to win it. and I think about laying the run line as well. In 135 career plate appearances for Kramer against the Yankees' current lineup, they have pretty good numbers with a 488 expected slugging percentage. You look, last time we talked about Yankee home run props, we took Judge and Stanton against the A's, against, I think it was J.P. Sears, and both of them hit home runs in that game. I think Judge is definitely worth the look. He's got 3 career home runs against Kramer in about 16 plate appearances, but also, Alex Verdugo, 2 home runs against Kramer in his career in 22 at-bats. So I think, for a guy like him, you get some pretty good odds on Verdugo. Might be worth a look as well. Clark Schmidt's pitched well against the Orioles in his career. He's pitched well as of late, since returning from injury. His first 3 games, while he's not pitching too deep into ball games, have still been really strong outings, 2 earned runs or fewer in all 3 of those starts. I'm going to go with the Yankees in this one on the money line. Next up, the Boston Red Sox taking on the Toronto Blue Jays. Brian Bayo and Bowden Francis are your starters. Francis, we've talked about being one of the better starting pitchers in baseball the last couple of months, and that continued in his last game against the Rangers. 6 innings, 2 runs, 6 strikeouts. He didn't get any run support in that one, but I think he gets the run support here against Bayo. We've mentioned the Blue Jays have really improved their game offensively against righties in the month of September. And when you look at the matchups for Bayo against the Blue Jays this year, he's given up some runs. 16 in the third innings, 9 earned runs, and 6 walks to go with it. That's a 4.96 ERA. Give me the Blue Jays in this one on the money line. Next up, a big-time matchup. This is the final week of the regular season. Some of these games, like the next one we're going to talk about, are pretty much throwaway games, but this is the rare occasion where this is a huge game for both teams. Both teams definitely need this game. They're must-win situations for the rest of the year. And we got Luis Severino and Spencer Schwellenbach on the mound. For me, I think the Braves have a nice advantage in terms of the starting pitching matchups in this series. This is the game that I think might be the closest in terms of the starting pitchers, but Severino's not been great on the road this year with a 4.8 ERA. He's coming off back-to-back quality starts, but he still gave up 3 home runs in those 2 games combined. For me, I don't love this Braves offense, especially with the injuries, but they have a very good bullpen, and I think Schwellenbach's a good option to start this game. I'm going to roll with the Braves in this one on the money line. It should be a great series. Next up, the Los Angeles Angels and the Chicago White Sox. Jack Kohanowitz and Jonathan Cannon are your starters. If you enjoyed the last week's series between these two, stellar clubs, you get 3 more games here as we near the end of the regular season. For me, I'm leaning towards the White Sox, but I won't be touching this game. I just think that Jonathan Cannon has been a decent option in this White Sox rotation. He's been solid at guaranteed rate field with a 4.25 ERA, and the fact that he pitched against these Angels last week and had a win. The White Sox want to win that game 8-4. He had 7 strikeouts in 6 2/3, not too shabby. Kohanowitz also pitched well against the White Sox in the same series, but he's not been great away from Angel Stadium this year, so just a lean for the White Sox on the money line for me. Next up, we see the Miami Marlins taking on the Minnesota Twins. Ryan Weathers and Bailey Ober are your starters. This is a must-win game, and really down the stretch, all the games for the Twins are going to be must-win situations. Doesn't mean they're going to win these games, but it means that they're more than likely going to be, all in a lot of these games, and probably using their high leverage relievers more than 2 days straight if they have to, if it's a close game late. I think Bailey Ober's a good option here for the Twins, and I think they have a good matchup against Ryan Weathers, who struggled in his first start back September 18th against the Dodgers. It was 4 1/3 innings, 8 base hits, 5 earned runs, and 3 home runs to go with it, and an 8-4 blowout loss. I think the Twins win this game and cover the run line at Target Field. Next up, the Seattle Mariners taking on the Houston Astros. We're going to see Logan Gilbert and Framber Valdez on the mound. The Mariners have really improved their game against lefties in September. They have a high walk rate, a low strikeout rate, which is a big surprise. A below 18% strikeout rate, and about 200 plate appearances. So not the smallest sample size. Top 10 in OPS to go with it. You look at their career numbers against Framber, they actually have decent numbers. 211 career plate appearances with a 435 expected slugging percentage, 283 expected batting average. Not too shabby there. Framber, we know, has been a winning machine in the second half of the season, and he's been a quality start machine as well. But even though he pitched well in that last game against San Diego, the Padres were able to win that one 4-0. I think Logan Gilbert can pitch well in this game, and the Mariners have a strong enough bullpen that I think I like their chances here at a great price on the road on the money line. Gilbert's last game against the Yankees, tough matchup, 5 1/3 innings, 2 runs, 9 strikeouts in a 3-2 Mariners win. That was a huge win for Seattle. I think they get another big win in this one. Next up, we see the St. Louis Cardinals and the Colorado Rockies. Michael McGreevy and Ryan Feltner are your projected starters. Feltner's been excellent down the stretch this year. I mean, the Rockies have won his last 5 starts, and those include wins over the Orioles, the Brewers, the Tigers, and the Diamondbacks, all winning teams and teams right now that are in playoff contention. So, Feltner's pitched well, and I think he pitches well in this game. I mean, McGreevy's also been sharp on the other side so far for St. Louis, but he has 0 Coors Field experience. We know the Rockies have been great at home, recently. This is a Rockies team. It's 36 games below 500 overall this year, but only 3 games under 500 at home. They have been a team to, especially getting really good prices, a team to look to bet on when they're playing at Coors. I like them in this spot on the money line at home. Next up is San Francisco Giants taking on the Arizona Diamondbacks. Logan Webb and Brandon Pfaadt are your starters. Big game for Arizona. I like their chances. I'd be a little bit more hesitant backing the Diamondbacks in this game if Brandon Pfaadt didn't have that bounce-back start against Milwaukee. He was struggling quite a bit. He was giving up a lot of base hits, a lot of earned runs, but he put together a 7-inning, 1-run, 2-base hit performance against the Brewers with 12 strikeouts to go with it in a 5-1 Diamondbacks win. No walks as well. It was one of his best starts of his career. And if he can pitch like that in this game, which against San Francisco I think he can, I like the Diamondbacks to win this game big because I think Logan Webb, he is not pitching well recently. He's given in September an ERA above 6, a lot of base runners, a lot of sharp contact. He's not pitching deep into ball games. His control's been off a little bit. Give me the Diamondbacks in this one on the run line at Chase Field. In our next game, we go to Oakland as the Rangers take on the Athletics. We're going to see Nathan Eovaldi and Mitch Spence on the mound. I'm going to take the A's in this game. I mean, Eovaldi's coming off one of his worst starts of the season. 7 earned runs against the Blue Jays, 11 base hits to go with it in 4 2/3. And, the A's maybe not as strong down the stretch as we saw at one point, right after the All-Star break. But I still think Mitch Spence is a decent option for Oakland. He's given up 2 earned runs or fewer in his last 5 starts. He's pitched well at the Coliseum this year with a sub-4 ERA. I like the A's in this one on the money line at home. And the final game we're going to talk about for the Tuesday card in Major League Baseball is the San Diego Padres and the Los Angeles Dodgers. Michael King and Landon Knack are your starters. I think the Padres have the better starting pitching option in this game, the better bullpen, and in the last month, they've been the better lineup against right-handed pitching. They're number 3 in baseball in OPS against righties, number 2 in isolated power, 18% or sub-18% strikeout rate as well. And that bullpen, I think, is one of the better bullpens in baseball. In September, solid expected numbers and ERA to go with it. Give me, Michael King's been a quality start machine, so give me San Diego in this one on the money line. And that's it. Those are the games for Tuesday in baseball. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe and put those baseball picks in the comment section below. Again, if you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at Pick Dawgz Premium. As always, this is Romanelli. Good luck.